Are you considering selling your house this year as a for sale by owner? There are pros and cons to going it alone, and I'm happy to help and share with you some tips for selling your home. I'm Natalie Bratton with RE/MAX First. Yeah, I am a realtor, so I'm a bit biased, but here are some tips to help you decide if for sale by owner is right for you. Check it out. It's a seller's market. I know it. Houses are flying off the market. If they're priced right and they look great, buyers are running to see it. So why would I pay a realtor when I could just stick a sign in my yard, market a little bit, and buyers are going to come buy my house? Are you listening? Setting the price is a lot harder than just going on Zillow and picking out a good price, comparing it to other pictures of other houses. It's also not taking what you paid for the house and adding on all the money you've spent maintaining and fixing your house. That's not how you price a house. It's not assuming that your house is appreciating by 3% every year and taking the time that you've owned the house and adding 3% every year to get a sales price. Pricing is a lot harder than maybe it sounds. And one of the number one reasons people hire a realtor is because they have difficulty pricing their house and they don't want to get it wrong. You can't just look at what the house down the street sold and price it at the same. Or say, well, my house is better than that house, so I'm going to list it $20,000 more. There's a lot more to it. And so one of the number one reasons people pick a realtor is so that they price their home correctly. I am an expert at marketing, contract negotiation, administration, communication, and much, much more. Are you? Part of doing a real estate transaction means you need to be a jack of all trades. So you need to know how to price your home. You need to know how to stage your home, how to decorate your home so that it will sell, how to do videography and professional photography and marketing. You have to do more than just stick a sign in your yard and put it on Zillow. There's a whole marketing section of selling your home that comes into play. There's knowing the contract front and back. The contract is more than 13 pages. Have you read all 13 pages, front and back, up and down, backwards and forwards, so that you know all the legal ramifications and all the details of the contract? Do you know what to do with the title company, inspections, repairs, closing, the lenders? Do you know which lenders are any good? Because some of them stink. That's another reason that people hire a professional realtor, because a realtor who is an expert in all of those things and knows the ins and outs of handling each detail of the transaction. So if you're going to do it yourself, you need to read a book about staging and look at lots of pictures online and lots of articles to tell you what to do for staging. You need to know what repairs and what updates to make to your home for the most return on your investment. You need to take a negotiation class and make sure that you're up to speed on professional negotiations. And you need to spend several hours reading over the contract to make sure you know everything that needs to be in it. Hey, let's just meet in the middle. We're 10,000 apart. Let's just go 5 and have a deal. If that's your idea of being a negotiation expert, you've got a lot to learn before you put the house on the market. You need to become a negotiation expert to sell your house yourself. One of the number one reasons people choose to hire a realtor is they want a negotiator on their side. So if you don't negotiate as a regular part of your daily life, if you've never taken a class or studied negotiation, then that's something you want to do before you put your house on the market. It's not just agreeing on a price and shaking hands. You are negotiating from the moment the buyers step foot in your house all the way through to closing. There are little details all the time that have to be worked out and dealt with. So become a negotiation expert. So you have to be a negotiation expert. That means you have to be unemotional about your transaction. So if you are very emotional about your house, this is something that you're going to have to work on. You need to get some training and learn negotiation if that's not something you already do on a normal basis. You don't want to get yourself in a situation with a buyer who is a negotiator, or even have a realtor bring the buyer, which is a great deal because then you only pay half the compensation and they're pretty much going to run things till closing. But they're going to negotiate you up and down and all around from start to finish. And so you may end up at the end realizing that you gave away too much or you left money on the table because they out-negotiated you and you didn't even realize it. So negotiation is one of the number one reasons that people choose to use a realtor. That compensation they pay the realtor ends up typically being worth it if they had an expert negotiator on their side. Do you have a life? Number 4 is time. Do you have the time to devote to this? I mean, you probably already have a job, you have a family, you have people you care about, you have hobbies and interests, things you want to do. Do you really want to spend every waking hour of your life that's extra devoted to trying to sell your house? Maybe you should take a week off work and just show your house and do the marketing. Like, I spend 2 to 3 days just setting up the marketing for one of my new listings. The paperwork takes several hours to get through, and if you have to read about negotiation, read about marketing, read about staging, and read the contract front and back, you should probably just take some time off work and devote. Oh, you don't get paid if you're not at work? Well, is it worth it then to try to do it all on your own? One of the main reasons I have clients who are deliberating to do for sale by owner, the reason they don't is because with the stress of moving, changing jobs, doing all the other things they have to do, adding on trying to sell your own house just doesn't seem as desirable as it did at first. That the money spent compensating a realtor is actually a plus. I'm providing you a service. I'm doing all these things for you. And so then when you think about it, that money really isn't that bad of an investment to get your house sold in the easiest way possible for the most money in the shortest amount of time. But that is a big consideration. What's your life like right now? Is it already stressful? Because having to put your house on the market and sell it yourself and do all these things I've mentioned may just be too much. 11% of homes sell as for sale by owners. 11%. That means 89% people, 89 are like, why would I spend all that time? 89%. So to recap, things to consider when you are planning to sell your own home is how much time do you have to devote to taking on an extra job of selling your house? Are you a jack of all trades? Do you know how to do the marketing, the staging, the videography, the negotiations, the contract front and back, pricing? There are a lot of details for you to learn to be able to do this well on your own. There's a whole lot more than just sticking a sign in the yard and shaking hands with somebody. There's a lot that goes into a real estate contract. Number 3, negotiation experts. Are you prepared to negotiate with another party unemotionally throughout an entire contract time, not just the price, but all the little details? And number 4 is, do you have the time? Do you have the time to devote on top of the rest of your life? Are you willing to give up your life for a while so that you have time to focus on your real estate transaction? Those are 4 big things to consider when you're planning to sell your own home.